Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Chairman and CEO, Microsoft Corporation, Bill Gates.
Good morning. Well, it's great to be back at COMDEX in Las Vegas. There were a lot of really big milestones this year. Microsoft celebrated its 20th year anniversary. I turned 40 years old. That means the majority of my life I've had the same job title. When I started out, it was tough being young. I couldn't rent a car. People wanted to have meetings in bars. I couldn't go in. Now I go into review meetings on the products, and these hip programmers are making jokes about friends and ER and things I just don't understand. So maybe I'm a little too old. I told Jay Leno that I was turning 40, and he suggested that maybe I'm the Mick Jagger of the software industry. And I'm still trying to figure out, is that a compliment, or what does that mean? Well, I could spend the next 60 minutes talking about Windows 95. So I thought I'd ask, are there people here who've not heard of Windows 95? Looks like maybe we can stop running our ads now. Well, what I do want to talk about is how personal computers have helped knowledge workers. What have they done to make those jobs more effective? If we go back 20 years and we think about the earliest personal computer, this MITS Altair with the paper tape BASIC, I think it's fair to say that this did not help knowledge workers at all. It was a kid computer. You'd go home at night, try and put the thing together. About half the people who bought it actually successfully got it put together. The programs would blink the lights. At best, you could play tic-tac-toe. But it was kind of a miracle that individuals could own a computer, and it was fascinating to put it together and figure it out. Now, over the next several years, products did come along like Electric Pencil or WordStar or VisiCalc. But I think we can say that it was really in 1981, with the advent of the IBM personal computer and 123 shipping in 1982, that started to bring computers into the business world, where people could think, hey, this will help them get their jobs done in a better way. Another major milestone was in 1985, and this is when the Macintosh came along and gave us the graphical interface. At first, it was a little slow, but it really became a foundation for the last decade of innovation. Things like the integration that we've gotten now are really so far beyond what we had back in 1985. The desktop productivity category, if you looked at software publishing data, of all the software sold on PCs, this is 59% of all software sold. The second biggest category is utilities, and most of those utilities are to solve problems created by desktop application software. And so this is overwhelmingly the biggest thing going on. The machines that are sold into business, people are primarily using these applications. Over 80% of the world's documents are now created with these applications. Now, the improvements of the last 10 years have been evolutionary. Every couple of years there's a major new version, a lot of competition. And I think because of that evolutionary nature, it's easy to miss how far we've come. Integration used to mean cut and paste. It didn't carry the font across or any of the other attributes, but it was kind of a miracle. You could even take the characters from one application to another. Now we not only preserve those things, but we support arbitrary objects. With the plug-in architectures that are out there, any applications, not just for one company, can be pulled together in an integrated fashion. You have a great deal of customization now, making the screen look like what you want. The computer tracks what you're doing and provides tips to help you out. There's been a very rapid shift over the last 3 years towards buying office suites. During the last 2 years, we've increased our number of office users by a factor of 4. And that paradigm of letting those things work together, documenting techniques in one way, has brought a dramatic change. I can just give you a few personal examples of why I'm an excited user of these products. Recent advances is this thing called Spell It. As you're typing your document, it puts a little red underline under any words that look suspicious, that are misspelled. And of course, you just use the right mouse button, click, and it suggests how you might want to properly spell the word. It's amazing how many words I've been misspelling all these years. Nobody ever told me. Maybe it's because of my job title or something. The nice thing now is when I get mail from other people, it automatically runs Spell It across what they're sending to me, and so I can see the spelling errors they're making too. Another big thing for me is word mail. The ability to take all the richness I've got in the word processor, revision marks, putting in an outline, different text. The fact that all day long I'm in the word processor, I don't need to boot it up again, whether it's creating a document, reading mail, I'm just there with all that richness, means that I can use the advanced features because that's the only text editor that I need to work with. Another big thing for me is pivot tables. Whenever I'm going to visit a country, I want to quickly look and say, how are the sales? How did their sales compare to the United States? Where are they ahead of budget? Where are they behind budget? And the pivot table is a fantastic way of doing that. You can look at it in different time periods, zoom in on detail, even go into subregions of the country. And the contrast between trying to look at printed information about sales data just in one view that's always too detailed to really figure out what's going on, versus having these pivot tables and being able to mail them around, say to people, hey, what do you think about this? It's not an executive information system where just a few people are seeing it. Everybody's looking at the same data and talking about the same results. Well, today we want to share a vision of where Office software is going in the years ahead. Some of the things we'll show will take us a couple major releases to get to, but these are things we're working on today, I think, that are very excited. We call this the personalized connected office. Now, a big part of this is going to be taking advantage of the revolution in communications that's taking place right now. Of course, this means the internet. The internet is kind of like a gold rush. The amount of excitement, the number of new companies, it's really unbelievable. Now, fortunately, this is a gold rush where there really is gold. It may be buried a little deeper than some people think, but the drops in the price of communication, the fact that PCs everywhere will eventually have very high-speed data rates, allowing them to work together, really will have a fundamental impact. In fact, it will mean that our industry will be changing the way people do business, the way they learn, and even the way they entertain themselves, far more than I think people outside our industry expect. The internet, the breadth of its impact really struck me a few days ago when I was in downtown Seattle. I just had a meal and I was walking back to my car, and somebody came up to me asking me for some money. I wasn't quite sure what to do, but then this person mentioned that they have a URL, and I thought, whether they do or not, that's such a good line. I gave the guy $5. You know, for all I know, this is a homeless guy who's got a home page. The whole internet thing, it's a little strange. I mean, there's more new magazines being started about the internet than anything else. You know, here at the show, you go to booths, people are talking about the internet. Why doesn't the internet itself allow those things to happen. Could the internet ever be a way that the industry gets together and shares things? Well, we've got a lot of work to do to make it be that kind of vehicle. But this gold rush atmosphere is getting people to invest in some great approaches, and many of those will pay off and really deliver on the promise that's out there. Now, it's always hard to talk about future software, and so what we've done here is something that we've tried before, and that is to make a little movie, a little story that's set in the future where Office plays a little role. It sort of provides the special effects for the story here. The setting we've got is we're in a small town called Kelseyville. This is the kind of little town you might have gone to when you were young and where there was a nice resort. This town is faced with a bit of a dilemma because the resort that was the lifeblood of the town has been shut down, and now they're trying to decide, should they make it into a historic landmark or should they develop it into kind of a shopping mall as a commercial development. And so let's go and see how this story unfolds.
I'm out till Tuesday. No, Brad's in charge. I gotta go. I am driving into the last full-service station in America here.
Cake Dasher. Wow, I thought it was you. Charlie Nichols. You remember? Me and your brother the first time you went on a boat?
Oh. The frogs.
Yeah, I swear, I never laughed so hard since. Hey, well, I'm sorry to hear about your uncle.
Thanks. I wanted to make the funeral, but I got stuck in Milan.
Excuse me, Charlie. Could you take a look at my engine when you get a chance here?
Oh, yeah, sure. Let me just ring this up. Hey, it's really nice seeing you, Kate. You gonna stick around?
Just a couple of days, I'm clearing up Uncle Jack's estate.
Damn Rolex. You got the time?
Sure, it's almost to 4:30.
Thank you. It's a knockout scarf. You know, I couldn't help overhearing. Estate liquidations. Happens to be one of my specialities.
Yeah, but I've got lawyers.
Lawyers do paperwork. I deal with heirlooms.
It's only a few boxes, it's not much.
Doc, look, you think it over. I'll be around. Scarf is perfect.
I see you have ambitious plans for the property.
We're pleased with them, dear. Naturally, we'd begun preliminary discussions with your late uncle.
Yeah, we kept calling, but he kept ignoring our messages.
Stan, didn't you have a house to show on Lakeview?
Today?
No, 3 years from now. That's why she mentioned it.
To be perfectly honest, dear, Jack and I conducted much of our business in private. Mind you, we hadn't crossed the T's or dotted the I's, but we were close to an agreement.
Exactly how close would that be?
Well, in addition to the back taxes, there were unpaid invoices for carpentry and termite work, rotting pipes, sunken boat docks. Let's just say your uncle was more than eager to sell the resort. Oh, but no need to get into that now. Let's block out some time right now to discuss the sale and the partnership agreement.
Fine.
Show me this week. All the paperwork's in hand, dear. Just a matter of resolving a few questions, signing the necessary documents. Schedule meeting. Property transfers to you on Monday, same day the zoning board meets to discuss our proposal.
Shall I schedule this time?
Looks good.
Yes. You'll be on a plane to New York before the weekend's over.
Well, actually, I was thinking about sticking around for Founders Day. Truth is, I haven't been back here in almost 10 years. My brother and I used to spend every summer at Uncle Jack and Aunt Mattie's resort.
It was a very special place. Why don't you take a look at what we've put together so far?
Very interesting. A little overbearing. Very impressive. Yes. Well, if these numbers hold up, that would be mildly fabulous.
We like to think so, dear.
So why the opposition? Is it just some stop them all?
There's a young man, bit of a dreamer, Tim Grady, moved here just a few years ago and wants to preserve something he knows nothing about.
I see.
Screensaver.
Got your costume all finished, Mr. Nelson.
Oh, you made the whiskers.
It's the way you wanted him, huh?
Stan's gonna be old Whiskers in our Founders Day parade.
I had to audition for it.
Played himself,
I did not.
and that was a stretch.
That's correct, ma'am. Teflon dentures, made with the same material NASA used for the last space shuttle. Now take it, really. It's the density of the material. It keeps
I
corrosion.
got your estimate for you, Mr. Potter. It ain't pretty, but blown valves never are. Miss Carruthers? Should purr like a kitten.
Oh, thank you, Charles.
700. Charles, come here. You're a man with class. I appreciate that. What does the name Rolex mean to you, huh?
What have we seen here with Office so far? We've seen a very deep level of integration. The first thing that happened was that Martha went into her desktop and she had projects, 4 different projects that she was able to choose from. Now the project contained all the customized information. There's the 4 projects. She picks one and up it comes. It's a whole workspace. It's got business cards, documents. This workspace happens to have the schedule open right now and is showing all the events, when she started working on the documents, when the documents are due. Very easy to get into, and you don't have to think about particular applications or directories. All the data is there in one place. Now, one of the documents she's got, the most important one, is this proposal for the shopping mall. And there we saw that information of all types were brought together. We had a movie, we had sales projections, we had charts, and as we saw her use that, she was able to navigate very easily. Different files weren't involved. This is a unified table of contents here. Over on the left, it's like an outline to go to the different pieces, and you navigate through without ever starting up a program or even knowing what's being invoked. So there's an object architecture there, an integration of user interface to share things across all those different data types. Finally, we had the idea of bringing time into the picture, integrating your work with the schedule. You can go back in your calendar and see on a particular day what documents you edited, when did you start, what did you do. Look at the version that you were working on that day. And all of it's tied into your different meeting times. The calendar can even blink when something's due, like the document we see there. The assistant, which is down in the lower right there, is actually recommending here that a meeting be scheduled by looking at different busy bits for all the people involved. Now that's taking place across the internet. All the different appointments are easy to pull together. It's the intelligent assistant that just makes that easy. Really, it's here we've got looking forward in time and looking back. The journaling keeps track of all that history and makes it very accessible.
Excuse me, Bill. Listen, I'm sorry to interrupt, all right? But I couldn't help it over here.
Right?
Did I hear you say intelligent assistants?
Right.
Okay. I'm not one to blow my own horn, but you won't find a more intelligent assistant than moi. I mean, look, you think it over. We'll take a meeting on it later, all right? I'll be around.
Sure.
I love the suit. It's you. You look beautiful. It's missing something. A man in your position should really have a new wristwatch. Why don't you come back? Oh, yeah, come backstage. I want to discuss this. Now this, the wristband, was handcrafted.
I don't know. I never wrote anything like this before.
Hey, you remember the time you went up to Canada with your folks? I remember all those letters.
Charlie, this is different.
Well, maybe so, but the way you describe things, I couldn't have done that.
Interested in similar documents? Yep.
Oh, woof, woof, hey. I gotta tell you, I love that sweater.
Oh, thank you.
I say we go with 2 quotes.
I just think it's gonna look too busy, you know what I mean?
All I know is people like to hear what other people have to say. Why do you think there was so many dumb talk shows?
These are endorsements, Charlie.
Well, exactly, and the more the better.
Why don't we just decide right now? Take a vote.
Not without Alan Wally.
Al and Wally went to Green River to pick up floodlights for the picnic.
Then we wait.
So you have a chance to think about my offer?
Not really.
Oh, right, yeah. Problems with the uncle's resort.
I never said anything about the resort.
You know, I talk to so many people, it's hard to keep track who said what. I mean, besides, it sure is a hot topic in this area, huh? After you. Coffee black for me, and give the lovely young lady anything she wants.
Just coffee, please.
Okay. Made the cinnamon rolls myself.
You know, it's truly amazing that you can walk into any coffee shop in this great land of ours, order eggs, toast, potatoes, cornflakes, coffee. I seem to have misplaced my wallet.
First cup of coffee's on the house. First cinnamon roll, too.
Hey, you like our headquarters?
Charlie Nichols, you old radical. Who would have thought?
I see you met Tim Grady and his famous cinnamon rolls. Tim, this is Kate Dasher. Came in from New York just yesterday.
Kate Dasher.
Yeah, she's the one. I told you the frog story.
Yeah, she's the one selling out the town.
No, what are you talking about, Tim?
Kate Dasher. She inherited her uncle's resort. She hired Martha Woods.
Is that true?
Martha and I talked, yes, but it wasn't at all.
Yeah, but the resort, Kate, you can't just...
You can't just what, Charlie? I mean, I can't pay the taxes, that's for sure, or the bills that my uncle left behind. It's a termite-infested fire trap.
Yeah, but we can fix it up. All we gotta do is...
Yeah, but where's all the money supposed to come from? And besides, is that what this town really needs?
What Kelseyville needs will be decided by our zoning board, not Martha Woods.
May I interject something here? And I was
You know,
just
I'm running late. I've really got to go. Excuse me.
Yeah, I really think she likes you. Oh, yeah.
I'm Stan Nelson. And I'm here because I'm Stan Nelson. What? I'm here for projections. I got it down. I'm Stan Nelson, and I'm here.
Stan, it's the first sentence, for crying out loud. You can't do the first sentence?
I am nervous, okay? Haven't you ever been nervous before?
This is not nervous, Stan. This is comatose.
Well, you spiff up your letters, and I'll work on my speech.
Send.
Revenue projections. I should introduce myself first, and then give the revenue projections. What I want to do in the first place. I'm Stan Nelson. I'm here to talk to you about revenue projections. Projections. Revenue projection last few years. In the last few years, we in Kelseyville have faced. In the past few years, we in Kelseyville have faced a major fiscal challenge.
Sounds like an undertaker, doesn't he?
Where's Martha? I need to talk to her.
She's out with a client. She'll be back in a minute.
I can wait. Go ahead, don't let me interrupt.
Send. You ever done any public speaking?
Will you give me a break? I'm just rehearsing here.
Stan, you're killing me. Here, take a look at this. Maybe you can do the speech.
Hold it. Martha, will you tell them that I'm...
I'd say it's a brilliant idea. Owner of the property gives a formal endorsement.
I don't think so.
Naturally, you can write your own speech, but no need to decide that now. You look like you have a question. Please sit.
Well, I want to know more about this Stop the Mall committee.
Why don't I get us some coffee, dear? Then I'll tell you everything. Cream and sugar?
Please.
Miss Dasher, could we talk for a sec?
Sure, and please call me Kate.
I don't know if Charlie told you we were getting married.
He did, and congratulations.
Well, thanks. See, the thing is, we've been saving to buy a house and all, so both of us need to be working. Anyhow, I know we need new business in this town, Miss Kate. You have to be some kind of a dork to miss that, huh? But these new stores that Martha's bringing in, like that one big department store. Well, shops like mine, they can't compete with those big outfits.
I mean, we could go with 6 units, but 7 is safer.
Sounds good to me. Let's stick with that number.
Hang on, doesn't Martha need to sign off on this?
Ray, Stan here. Martha's out showing a house right now, and she gave us full authority to make these executive-type decisions.
If you say so, just send me the new budget numbers.
Crud.
Will do. When do you need them?
Friday would be great.
Action item, send budget to Ray Collins by Friday.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Ray.
Did he say 6 or 7?
7.
I heard 6.
You heard wrong.
No. It's a big difference, Hank. 6 is not 7.
7.
See, I was right. Ow!
Charlie always wanted to play Jedediah Kelsey.
Yeah, my dad must have done it at least 5 times.
So this famous catfish, tell me the truth. When I moved here, it was 50 pounds. 50 pounds, right?
It's a big catfish.
You don't say.
Project these figures?
Yeah.
Would you hold still? You as a pie chart?
Yeah, great.
Okay. You look handsome.
I don't feel handsome.
Just a sec.
Easy. Don't. Ow.
Will you relax, Charlie?
Ow.
Now we've seen a number of cases where this idea of IntelliSense has been taken to a new level. IntelliSense is watching how a particular user works with documents and therefore is able to suggest things that are going to be helpful. A first example we saw of that was that as the Stop the Mall document was being put together, the assistant suggested that maybe the author would like to look out on the internet and find related documents. Now, by having natural language technology, you can find the proper nouns, you can know what the context of the document is, and you can highlight exactly those words and use those for a rich kind of search. After that search was done, we went out and we were able to find a couple things, and they're marked according to a little summary, if it requires a license fee to go out and use those documents, and of course you can easily drag and drop those things and either link to them or use a portion of those documents in terms of what you want to create. Another thing we saw was a meeting taking place where the personal computer through a presentation software was being used along with audio conferencing. And so we had the new kind of simultaneous voice data modem. At the end of the meeting, the assistant asked, what about the meeting summary? Should it be sent to other people? Should it just be the action items? And that was all done very automatically. In fact, the meeting summary highlighted different things and no effort was required. You can see the names here are links, so you can send email to those people, and any of the documents that were used would be referenced there as well. So it's a case where you really get automatic help as you go along. I'm not sure what time it is, but I think it's time to go back and see how this story develops.
Anyhow, they get to the lake and Jedediah Kelsey decides to catch dinner.
I remember this part. So he has no luck for a couple of hours, and then...
There's his toe. And he sticks his heels behind this rock before he knows it.
I just got off the phone with Amy Perkins. Seems her mother-in-law had an unfortunate accident this weekend.
Again?
So she won't be able to participate in the parade tomorrow. What I was wondering, dear, is would you be willing to take her place?
No, I mean, I may do speeches, but I don't do floats.
It would mean a lot to the town. And it certainly would help our efforts.
Yeah, it's a snap. All you gotta do is wave to people and drink a lot of beer.
What? Just think about it, dear.
Hi.
Morning.
Come on, it's Founders Day. Truths.
Sure.
Well, you look,
Don't say it, I feel silly. So who talked you into this?
Sally. She said she made this especially for me.
Hello? Oh, jeez. Okay, I'll call Martha. We got trouble.
Charlie Nicholas tried to fillet you?
Macy's dropped out.
Okay, Stan, get back to the office. Call Bob Sanchez. We need to send out prospect letters, and we need them fast. Hank, run a search on similar-sized companies. What I'm thinking is...
Wait a second. We can't have a parade without the catfish.
He's right. Give me the stinking head, Stan. Martha, you get started. I'll sit in for Fishboy here.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Would you like to view the changes?
Sure.
Partially whole life insurance. A totally new concept. It's whole when you need it. It's not when you don't. It's that simple. Perfect for you two.
I was fed up with the commute, tired of working all day long with no trees outside my window. And my dog was chewing up the apartment, piece by piece.
Well, that'd do it.
So I thought, you can live like this, or you can change everything.
It couldn't have been that easy.
It wasn't. I agonized for a year and a half. Books, career change seminars, the works. I bored my friends to tears just talking about it. I mean, you can talk about something forever. So, how about some potato salad, cold beer, and grilled catfish sandwich?
I'd like that. But I got to take care of something first. It'll just take a minute. Excuse me.
Consumer Central, now there's a name, huh?
That's all they are. Upper management's in chaos. I'd say Anderson's definitely a keeper. Their numbers have been terrific over the last 5 years.
Even though we have our differences, we're still old friends, right?
You bet.
Yeah. This is for you.
Okay. Thanks.
Now we're even.
Well, you like fabulous or incredible?
Personally, I'm fond of terrific. But let's talk about this, Dan.
Terrific. I like that.
These promises that you're making.
It's called creative selling, Bob.
Well, there's creative selling and there's overt fabrication.
So you're saying what?
Anderson's is a class organization. Stan, turn on video. Let's work this thing out.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, Stan, you look terrific in green.
You think so?
Waiting for someone?
My friend, he's getting us some ice cream.
I don't know if you remember me. Ben Cooper.
I'm sorry, I've been away a long time.
Managed the boat docks for your uncle. That's the best job I ever had.
Hold on, will you? You taught me how to fish.
That old place was the best thing that ever happened to this town.
Well, here we've used the internet a couple of different times to do important things. In the previous act, we actually went out and created an online version of the document and were able to look at that. And so we call up a dialog box that we'll see here that let us go out and have that online edition. We could register it in various directories, Lycos, InfoSeek. We could include different formats, not just HTML, but also printing formats where you've got the fonts. And we could notify the registered readers, so they'd have mail in their inbox telling them that there's a new document out there. Another thing we saw was the meeting between Bob and Stan. And here they're working together. And there's something very important here, which is that they didn't have to learn any new applications. They didn't have to learn any new commands. They were simply using Word and working on the same document. They didn't have to define roles for each other. It simply showed them the two different cursors that were in the document, and they could either go to the same section of the document, they could each edit at the same time, and so that kind of collaboration across the internet can work very, very easily with today's applications and nothing extra to learn. And of course, this can extend to all the different applications that people work with. Well, our story is moving towards a quick climax, so let's get back and see how it wraps up.
We'd also like to thank Sally Warren for designing costumes that were beautiful and authentic. And finally, Hank Perry for his many hours of fundraising. Founders Day this year was truly a community effort. It represented the best that Kelseyville has to offer. The City Council is adjourned. The Zoning Board is now in session.
Item number 1 on today's agenda is a proposed shopping complex on Crescent Lake. Now, folks, let's be civil.
Where's Kate?
Said she had some business to take care of, a couple of phone calls, but she'd make it.
We'll be hearing arguments for and against the proposal.
We feel the overall design is friendly and inviting, like Kelseyville itself. Yet at the same time, we want shoppers to clearly understand this is the new Kelseyville. As I mentioned earlier, the Lake Crest Village will be a major draw for a tri-county area. Naturally, we anticipate heavier turnout on weekends, with a negligible impact on traffic, police, emergency services, and a positive spillover for other businesses in town. And finally, we believe Lake Crest Village will usher in a new era of prosperity to Kelseyville. A prosperity we all can share, townspeople and small business owners alike. For ladies and gentlemen, citizens of Kelseyville, Lake Crest Village represents nothing less than the future itself. I urge you to accept our proposal and bring that future to life.
Ready for some questions, Martha?
I did plan on another speaker, Ben, but I suppose until she arrives, let's start the questions. Alice, I believe you were next.
Oh, well, I'm so excited because I finally get to use the city planning program. The problem is that I am a born optimist, and I got to thinking, what if this, what do you call it? Oh, yes, Lake Crest Village ends up being more successful than even you can imagine. Now, according to Martha's figures, here's our projected impact on local area traffic. Oh, it looks great, doesn't it? But what if, and let's be fair, let's not exaggerate the number here. What if 200 more cars show up at this typical weekend we've been talking about?
Ben, I'd like to respond to that.
Well, I was kind of hoping you would, Martha.
Well, now we've got this very complex meeting taking place, and different people want to make comments and have side conversations, and you're presenting rich types of information. So the town planners are able to make little annotations to each other, and as the questions come in, they're logged together with the slides, so you can go back and the moderator can select the right one, really making this kind of event work well, even allowing people who aren't at the meeting to watch as it goes on, or later to come back and capture some of the dynamics of what took place there. So multiple streams of input, again, are being integrated together, bringing the rich kind of conferencing that can make these meetings more effective. Another thing that we saw here was the idea of customization. The mayor, Alice, had a little third-party component that was plugged in that let her see traffic data in a nice map view. And so she was able to customize that, pull the data in, which was probably in an Excel table, and pull it up onto her map, and then simulate what this new traffic pattern might look like there and see that there was really a problem. So you've got lots of end-user customizability, allowing you to see data in a very new way.
Oh,
Excuse me.
Hi, Bill.
Hi,
Wow.
Kate. What's up?
Well, I'm sorry I'm running kind of late, and I've got this, wow, really, really big speech to give, and I'm feeling a little nervous. You know how that is.
I sure do.
Yeah, wow. Woo! And anyway, well...
What are you going to say in the meeting?
Well, I've been thinking about it. You see, a lot of things have been happening this week, and yesterday it was Founders Day, right?
Okay.
And so I started thinking about Founders Day when I was a little girl, and I would wear these fish masks, and...
You can't guarantee those numbers. No way. Wait. Let me explain myself here. These are only projections, okay? They're just projections. They're not etched in stone. They're only estimates of what we hope in revenues for the shopping center.
Am I too late? No, and thank God. Ben, could we get back to the revenue question later? My final speaker is here.
Sure thing.
Kate Dasher, who I'm sure many of you know by now, would like to say a few words in support of our proposal.
When I found out that my uncle had left me the resort, I was frankly surprised. And then the papers began to come in, the tax forms and the bills, and I was overwhelmed. And that's where Martha Woods came in. She had a proposal. And to be honest with you, I didn't think about it very much, and as long as it was good for me, that was enough.
What's she talking about? Quiet.
And it finally hit me yesterday. And here it was, Founders Day. And when I was a kid, I loved the Founders Day parade. I spent some of the happiest days of my life in Kelseyville.
Ben, we'd like to adjourn for a few minutes to confer.
Let her speak.
All right, quiet down.
Now, fundamentally, Martha's right. This town needs a plan for the future.
Wait. You said we should...
All right. I'm giving you exactly 1 minute, and I'm timing it.
I was looking at it from the wrong angle, and that's why it took me so long to see what we have to do. See, I can't watch them tear down that old resort, Charlie. Because part of me gets demolished with it. So, I'm gonna bring it back. I've done some figuring, and I'll have to sell some land for the taxes and the bills, raise some money. But I can make this happen. I'm not just gonna walk away. We're gonna bring people back to Crescent Lake.
Goodbye to your commission, old Whiskers.
Shut up.
You were supposed to keep an eye on her.
You said it was a done deal, Ma.
It was.
Ma?
So are you going to have to sell off land to pay for all this?
Right.
Land isn't worth that much in this town.
My condo on the Upper East Side is.
Hey, I gotta tell you, you make a lovely couple.
I should say we changed the names to protect the innocent. Well, we saw a number of pieces there that define our vision of this personalized connected office. We saw the advance in integration, eliminating the idea of the independent applications. We saw a great exploitation of the internet so that inside a company, information is easily available. And it also breaks down the boundaries between a company and its customers, between a company and its vendors. All the information is there, easily viewable, easy to collaborate in creating. We saw big advances in IntelliSense, where the user tells us what their preferences are, and we see over time exactly what they're doing and helping them out. We saw big advances in natural language. That's an area where, for almost a decade, we've been making major investments. And just now, the speed of the machines, the size of the memory, all the elements have come together with this new software to allow us to bring this into the office and allow it to be more effective. And finally, we saw component architecture, where people use the pieces that they're interested in, including the ability to plug new things in that leverage off of the richness that the Office platform is able to provide. Now, there's a number of enabling pieces that have to come into this besides the software. We do need faster processors. Fortunately, we have Moore's Law working for us, as well as billions in investments that the chip industry is making. And so in the next few years, we will have speed that's more than adequate for everything we saw. We also want the presentation to be easier to work with, the animation, the motion video. And so the graphics capability has got to improve, and that's on a very fast track as well. Some of these new input techniques will also be very important. The video camera that lets you video conference, and it also lets you make gestures that the Office software can understand. Voice input, pen input, we believe those are all complementary to the keyboard, which will continue to be a primary way of getting lots of text into the system. Now, to make using all of this easy, the communications hardware is going to have to be built in. There's many different generations of communications. Within an office in the local area network, we're moving up to 100 megabit speeds, and we're getting the kind of quality of service guarantees that allow you to pass audio and video across that local area network. But the hard problem is when you move to the wide area network and you're trying to reach out to other people, what kind of connectivity do you have? If we just use today's phone system with modems, that's what we call narrowband. Sort of the ultimate speed we'll get out of that is about 28.8 kb that's moving into the mainstream. But an important addition to it is the simultaneous voice data, DSVD. And that really lets you, whether it's discussing a contract or getting product support or ordering something out of a catalog, it really makes it far more social and yet gives you the richness of the computer display as part of that conversation. And being able to hook up those connections by finding a web page and saying that you want some advice, you want someone to talk to you, that will all become very seamless. Now, we also need to take narrowband communication out and make it easily available on a wireless basis for people who are working in a mobile fashion. And that'll take a couple more years before the infrastructure's in place. During that same time period, though, we expect a very rapid move to the next generation that we call mid-band. We're very excited about ISDN. The ease of setup is improving. The price of the hardware is coming down. The monthly charges are coming down. And ISDN, because it's about 5 times faster, really makes a qualitative difference. Today, those images that seem a little bit slow out on the internet will be very, very snappy. Still, image performance at mid-band is really, really excellent. Another flavor of mid-band that's not quite as far along, but will also be important, is the cable modem. Taking the coaxial infrastructure that the cable TV companies built for broadcast video and using that to tie your PC in at data rates about the same as ISDN or perhaps even a little bit better. Now at mid-band, we can do some video capability, but it's a little bit like still images are in narrowband. It works, but it's not perfect. For example, you wouldn't want to watch a movie sitting there with a mid-band connection. For a business meeting, it works, and I think it will be very popular. The ultimate is still broadband, and that means providing data rates of several megabits or more. Now this has been the holy grail of the so-called information superhighway. A couple of years ago, some communication companies were really talking about how many millions of people they'd connect up in the next few years. Well, a little bit of reality has snuck in here, and they're realizing that the revenue opportunity for connecting broadband up to homes is going to take quite some time to develop. The prices have got to come down. The applications have to be far better than they are today. And so the concrete evolution is moving towards mid-band and then using that as the base point to eventually get to broadband. Broadband will happen and it will be important using technologies like the optic fiber, asynchronous transfer mode, and ADSL. And so we've got that in front of us, but not as a revolutionary step, not as a big bang, simply as something that will move to step by step. Now the goal of all of the things we've been talking about is to empower users. We want people to have more effective meetings, to have less meetings, to be more in touch with the things they want to do. If you look back 10 years ago to somebody writing a PhD thesis and using a Selectric typewriter, hiring somebody to do that, and compare what that will be like as this round of office comes around, where you've got the richness of the internet. You can send out versions to your reviewers, get their comments, and organize things very easily. Imagine a small business person who wants to just focus on particular tasks. They can be alerted when their financial data shows something that's out of line, be alerted when a customer has a request. Small business people will be able to connect to this electronic world on an equal basis with large businesses. And the authoring tools they use, they'll want to work for online and the print world simultaneously. So we want to take all the learning that's been done on these tools and carry that over. We need better decision making, the kind of pivot table, connection to database, ways of visualizing information and passing that around that this provides will help all businesses, particularly large businesses, where coordination is a major, major issue. We also create flexibility. People can work wherever they want and be in touch. Whether it's somebody who wants to do telecommuting and work out of their house, work part-time, be a consultant, or whether it's a salesperson out on the road who wants to make sure they know the status of orders, who wants to be able to communicate back to headquarters their ideas, the input of the customer very easily. All of that will be enabled by office productivity software. So I hope you can tell I'm very excited about this future vision. It really is something the whole industry needs to pull together the pieces for. The better hardware here for the office part of the market, that's the majority of PC sales, better software from lots and lots of companies, better communications infrastructure, and perhaps most importantly, the solution providers. the people who provide the consulting and training, and take these standardized building blocks and put them together in a way that's meaningful for the incredible variety of uses that are out there. I really think this is an incredible opportunity for all of us. Thank you.